Okay, good. All right, so welcome everybody. Again, all three of us today to the referral challenge Q&A call, mastermind call for March the 10th. I've got some updates, but really I need to post them. It's primarily about the book. We got to get everybody moving forward on that.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully everybody is moving forward on it because we got a deadline date up here. And then we're just going to get back into the referral challenge regularly scheduled programming. We've got a lot to catch up on, a lot that still needs to be done. So we've got a lot of work ahead for everybody, but it's going to be good and good quality stuff and a lot of fun, and we're going to rock it out. So that's all I've got. Aaron, you got anything?
I don't.
All right, cool. All right, so Keith, it's one-on-one time with you again, brother, or two-on-one. What can you?
You know, this week for me has been a little bit of just kind of catching up myself, just kind of taking a step back and just trying to get back on top of things. And so, you know, I tell you, I usually try to come to these things with a lot of questions, or at least several questions. I don't have a ton today, so, you know, maybe a short thing. But one thing I want to ask both of you guys, just get your thoughts on anyway, about the book project. I actually have a coach who works for me. I realize it's due Monday. And I will tell you this, I kind of started writing it all out. And man, I hit 1,000 words fast, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to pare this back. But I have a coach who works for me. She started out here as a member, and it was one of those. She came here. She had tried other gyms, hadn't found what she was looking for. Fell in love with our gym. Needed to lose weight. She lost the weight. You know, she was didn't have a lot of confidence and had struggled with weight all her life. And now she's a coach for me. And so I approached her. I said, you know, I'm doing this book project. What if I wrote the story about you? Would you be okay with that? Because, you know, she struggles a little bit with the kind of fame, you know, the idea of being, you know, talked about or whatever, but she agreed to it. So, I mean, do you guys feel like that could be a pretty good story? I mean, I think it will be, but
I think it's absolutely perfect, because it shows the impact of fitness and how not only does I mean, this is exactly what we're looking for, because it's truly transformational. Not only did she change her body, but she changed her career, you know, and started doing something that she loves, that she's clearly passionate about. And maybe she was doing that beforehand, but chances are maybe she wasn't, and that's why she chose to move on with you. So yeah, I love that.
Okay.
Yeah, and Keith, did you get a chance at all to watch any of the storytelling tutorials over there on the membership site?
I have not. That's another one of those review. I want to review that this weekend before I send in my final draft.
Well,
so it may change how I do some things on that, but
just to your point, the story that you're telling follows really right along the lines of what I was instructing, right? So
okay.
What you'll want to do is focus on how she changed as a person, not just her body, but internally, how her character changed, right? And so really in your story, try to emphasize her internal growth, because that's human nature. That's what we all, you know, resonate with. While physical transformation is inspirational, right? And it's something that you may want to do as well. But what really makes a story sell is character arc, how a person grows as an individual. Focus on that in her story.
Okay. Yeah, she's got a really amazing before and after pictures. And I figured just having that, if that's going to be included with the story, then you probably don't even really need to talk about how much weight she lost or anything like that. Don't waste any words or time on that, because you can see it in the picture. I mean, it's dramatic, you know, so.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think that it's fantastic. But the one point I want to make to you is the 1,000 words is really just a guideline. If you have more to tell your story, Keith, or anybody, do it. Do it. You know, but what we're trying to do by not really imposing, but suggesting a limit, is to help you realize that the tighter you can make the story, generally speaking, the more effective. It's not always true. Again, it just depends on how well you craft it. But if you need more space to tell it, then by all means do it. But then review and see if there's superfluous stuff. I know I find that in my writing all the time, where I've just been somewhat redundant or verbose. I've just overused where one sentence would be perfect, I use 3.
Right. Well, and I asked her, and again, this would be another question, is I asked her to contribute maybe a short testimonial about her time here, both as a member and as a client. Is that something you guys would recommend? Because that also, depending on what she puts in that may, like you said, I might find that I've already said that somewhere, and maybe I take mine out and put her testimonial in or whatever. But
that's perfect. And I think, I know it's hard when what we're trying to do is give you some guidelines so that people can work within some sort of structure, some sort of framework. But we also want to make sure that you understand there's plenty of flexibility. This is truly your story, the way you want to craft it. And
okay.
So you're not restricted really in any ways, except for the obvious ones, which is just doing something stupid. But nobody's going to do that. So,
okay.
So I like that. I think that'd be great, to put in a pull quote type testimonial from her. Or however you want to characterize it, and you might even transition it. You can go, and I could go on and tell you more about it, but maybe it'd be best if you read it just in her words, and then you boom, you have a little thing from her, something like that.
Yeah. I've got it set up right now that I kind of transition into here. Here's what she said about being a member, and then here's what she said about not exactly in those words, and then later on it's like, and here's what she says about working here, and. Not in those words. It's hopefully a little bit better crafted than that, but
no, I know what you mean. I mean, it's much harder to articulate it off the cuff than it is to actually craft it when you write it.
Right.
So, just keep in mind that when she talks about how great it is working there, or when you start to set that up or close it out, wherever you need to do it, you want to make sure that it doesn't come off as an advertisement for your business, but more along the lines of, hey, I love working with Keith. I love working with Keith so much and helping other people do what I do so much or I love the idea of it so much that I came to work for Keith, that kind of
thing. Okay.
All right. Good. I need to make a post on Facebook, and probably I'll send out an email too with just some more guidelines, because I know a lot of people are a little bit uncertain about things and just need a little more clarification. So I'll try and do that.
Okay.
And but like I said, you have a lot of flexibility. I guess that's the best way to do it. You may have figured this out about me. I tend to overthink things a bit. So well, we talked about that early on, and that's how you and I are exactly alike.
Welcome to the club, man.
I'll make it as complicated as I possibly can.
No, I hear you.
So, and that leads me to the one other question I did have. I see at least Wayne's on here too, but and it's time management. What do you guys do for your own? I mean, to-do lists. Because I tend to make things very complicated, what tips do you have for time management kind of stuff? I mean, what are things that work for you guys?
Funny how this topic keeps cropping up it's a reoccurring theme, because everyone I know, except for my wife, Camellia does not struggle with time management. She is so squared away. It's almost irritating. A woman that runs a very successful business, and she works roughly 25 hours a week, but she's busy with raising children, running the house, and all that stuff. So she's never laying around, but she's just very good at it. So what my suggestion is, one of the is absolutely lists. Lists need to be made the night before, not the day of, in my opinion. And then they need to be prioritized, because we tend, especially people like me and probably like you, Keith, is those lists get real long.
Yeah.
And you can only accomplish so much in a day, so they have to be prioritized, and it needs to be important versus urgent. The important stuff is what needs to get done. You can't allow fires to interfere with getting the important stuff done. Unless it's just a raging fire, and then it has to be put out, but hopefully you can keep those at bay for the most part. That and time blocking, which we've discussed before, and also, Wayne has talked about it too, using the timer. I like that a lot, just because, particularly when I'm writing, because it really forces me to focus. I try to shut out all the distractions. I put on a little timer. I've got mine right over here. This is what I use, and I just turn it on, and it just beeps at me when my time is up. And then I stop and I take a break. I do some pull-ups or do something to get the blood flowing, something to eat, and then I'll set it again for another block of time and just try and really crank during those periods of time.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Aaron, what about you? Want to share something?
That's it. You got it. I mean, the list, check them off as you go down the line. Forrest Walden is the absolute world's best at that, without question. He'll take out a yellow legal pad, and you'll walk into his office and it'll be full, and half of them will be checked off, and he's still going. So those lists really do matter. And I don't know if I can put my hand on it real quick, but somewhere around here I have a book that I've shared before talking about. It's the Checklist Manifesto, right? And it's a whole book on creating checklists and checking them off, and how people they seem to really downgrade checklists, but hospitals and aircraft developers and airline pilots, they all go through these checklists, and there's a reason, because you're human. Mm-hmm. And if you don't have a checklist, you'll either get lazy and not do it at all, knowing better, or you'll forget.
Right. Yeah. But I think that's a source of anxiety too, is like, if it's not written down, then I worry I'm going to forget it. It's maybe just add more stress to your already busy day.
Yeah, no doubt. You've got to. I write everything down, and that's part of my problem, is just organizing everything that I write down. Yeah, you don't want to lose stuff. So one of the other things I want to talk to you about in terms of time management, well, two things. One is, what's his name? I think it's David Allen or whatever his name is, the guy who wrote Getting Things Done. Great book on time management. And in that, he talks about the Kanban board. I don't know if you guys have heard of that, but it's do, doing, done type board, where you set up, and like on my whiteboard back there, I would just put 3 sections, just use some painter's tape, put it right on the whiteboard, and you got your, to do, you got your doing, which is your action items that you're working on right now, and then done. And all the like software companies and things like that, they all use Kanban boards. A lot of big businesses use it. It's very effective because it's a visual thing that's right in front of you all the time that shows these critical tasks. And I just use Post-it notes. Put my Post-it notes right on my whiteboard of the different tasks that I have to do. I can use different colored Post-it notes for different topics. And then as those, when I'm going to work on them, I move it into the doing file. When it's done, I move it into the done file. And you think, well, done, it's sort of unnecessary, but it's not, because it gives you an awesome sense of accomplishment. Yeah. That's what you want. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I think all the little calendars and Todoist and things like that you put on your phone, again, for me, if it's on my phone, who knows when I'll look at it again.
Right.
I like the idea of having just a big visual right here next to my desk or something, and be like, okay, that's what I'm working on,
Right. Yeah, me too. I'm very visually oriented, and so I need stuff to be in front of me. Without a doubt. Wayne, want to get your 2 cents on this, because you've been working on time management now for a little while. What are your any observations or things that you've learned?
I've realized that if I make a list of something, it needs to be broken down into steps small enough that I can actually do each step. It doesn't help to just say work on this project. It has to be particular steps in the project.
Yeah, that's dead on. And that's the secret to productivity right there, is that when we write out this list of stuff we got to get done, we go, oh, well, I only got 5 things on my list. But if 2 of those things have 15 steps in them, then you got a lot of work ahead of you, and that's not readily apparent if you're just looking at a list of 5 things. So that's perfect. Breaking it down into individual tasks and delegating those tasks as much as you possibly can.
Yeah.
But are you feeling, Wayne, are you feeling better about your time management, and, your productivity over the last few weeks?
It's gotten better. Yeah.
Yeah. Good. It's just an ongoing process, like so much of what we do. It's a discipline, and that's just it. Any discipline requires consistent attention. Got to be worked on all the time.
But I will say I feel good that I've gone from the mindset of I'm just not good at time management to it's something I need to work on. It's just a skill that I can learn like anything else. I learned how to do a deadlift. I can learn how to time manage too. So
right, and that's exactly the right mindset for sure.
Yeah,
no doubt about it. It's such a deep. Such a deep topic, such a rich topic, and there's so much to learn. But I've read a lot of books on time management, talked to a lot of people about it, and they all come back to about a half a dozen core principles, and then it's ultimately about implementation. It's about just doing it and doing it consistently.
Right. Yeah. All right.
All right. Good. Wayne, what can we do for you, sir? Anything in particular?
Look, I don't know how I feel about all these new people coming into the referral challenge. You guys all to ourselves.
I hear you, and we were telling Keith before you got on, we appreciate all of you bearing with us during this process. We got to make sales because we need the cash because I got kids to feed, and Aaron's got Aaron does too, not kids because they're out of the house.
And kids to feed.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah, no, I know you do, and we appreciate everybody just being, bearing with us, like I said. But we do have to get back on track here quickly because there's still a lot more to do, and but it's always getting better. We're optimizing everything we do forward, which is always a positive. Just a lot of work. That's why anybody, I don't know if I'll tell you, Wayne, since you're a Fit Body Bootcamp guy. And I mentioned to you early on that I had an issue with Bedros. That issue began back in 2007-8 timeframe or something when he started pushing this whole selling people into information marketing. And he put out this sequence of emails with videos and stuff saying, doing the classic get rich quick BS that just grates on me so much. And he was like, oh, it's so easy, and you can make money while you sleep kind of stuff. And I'm just like, I've done it. I've built an information-based business, and anybody who's done it and done it at a high level knows it's a crap ton of work. It's as much, if not more work than any other business you're going to be involved in. So that really grated on me, and I spoke out about it, and then we got into this flare-up online, and it was just a mess. But that's sort of the backstory there. But the point that I'm trying to make is we're just busting our tails over here to make sure that we can deliver everything that we promised and more, and really take care of everybody. So anyway, just a little story. Anything else, Wayne, that you got that you want to talk about?
That was good storytelling. Any updates on local by referral?
Not hard updates. The things are being built, the pages are being built. It's kind of a little bit slower than I'd like, but we will have the pages done within the next couple weeks, and then of course, obviously, the back end funnel complete as well. And when it's done, it's going to be powerful. And just a quick heads up, I was talking with Pat Rigsby yesterday, and he graciously promoted us today. I don't know if you guys are on his list, if you saw that or not, but yeah, it was really nice of him. And he's just a good man. And he and I and Aaron, we all see things very much alike. So he's very intrigued by the whole local by referral idea, and I'm going to talk to him seriously about helping us with that, because that could really make things go a lot faster. He's got incredible reach and influence. So it absolutely will be, and it will be awesome. It will just be a little bit slower going initially than we'd hoped. That's my story. I'm sticking to it.
I got another question. Whatever happened with that software you guys were playing around with, Referist or whatever it was called, or
Referizer? Yeah,
Referizer. That's what it was. Yeah. So.
Yeah, we were just talking. Aaron and I were just talking about that yesterday.
Are you still beta testing it, or?
A couple guys are. A couple bailed, understandably. There's issues, and the issues primarily are that the software is sort of in its infancy. They don't really have the back end built out. They don't have the support that they need, the training that they need to onboard people effectively. And that's the problem that we ran into. Is we just went. It was such a laborious process to get onboarded, and that took the wind out of a lot of people's sails, including ours. Initially. So we're not down on the software. The software looks very good. It's just, you got to be able to use it. And the only way to use it is you got to learn, somebody's got to teach you how to use it. And so they need a better onboarding process. And we're just going to sort of put it on the back burner for right now and wait. And, we've given them our feedback, and we're just going to wait and see if they make the necessary adaptations to make it really take it to a higher level, and then we can fully endorse it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool.
Anything else, guys?
This is beyond local by referral. I'm curious about, because the name comes up a lot. Have you worked with Pat Rigsby as far as coaching, or just you guys know each other through circles, or how did that work out?
Yeah, well, Pat and I go way back. We in 2004, I guess, or 5, before I started Net Profit Explosion, I had my first business, which was called Fitness Marketing Systems. And I was, at the time, it was me and Ryan Lee, really, and Phil Kaplan, who were the three big people in the industry. And so a lot of people came to me and said, hey, can you help promote me? Can I, I've got this great product idea, blah, blah, blah. I got pitched those types of joint venture opportunities all the time. 98% of them never paid any attention, or, just discarded because they weren't quality. But Pat came to me, and he was he was a fitness business owner at the time. He was not an information marketer. He had an idea. He was running his business at the time. He ran a personal training service within a gym. So he didn't own the gym, but he owned the personal training service that worked inside of a gym.
Right.
And he was doing great with it. He had awesome numbers, and he was clearly, with the first couple of times I talked to him, just very sharp guy, and had a great story to tell. And he said, I think this would help a lot of people. Would you be willing to help me get this out to the market? So we created a product called the Personal Trainer Money Machine, and together he and I created it, and then I marketed it, and we sold about $80,000 worth of the product. Sold a lot of customers in. I gave him all the customers, and that launched him into his information product business. The interesting thing, and I've told him, and I've told other people, it's interesting to me looking in hindsight, because Pat won the race. At the time, he and I were friends, and we were also in a mastermind together. We've always been friends, but there was a time when we separated because he started his business and started then competing with me head to head. And that was fine. I'm all for competition because he's an ethical guy. I don't have any issues with that. But we just sort of we didn't communicate much anymore. He was doing his thing, I was doing mine, and we were competing, as I said. And that went on for a couple of years. I started MPE, and then MPE just exploded, and we were huge, and it was the clear dominant leader in the industry. But Pat was slow and steady, and that's why he was the tortoise and the hare. He was the tortoise, but he has won the race, because now MPE has gone down the tubes. I sold out at the right time, and it's kind of gone down. I mean, that's what I hear. And Pat is pretty much the undisputed leader within the industry now. So that's how it evolved. Anyway, we're good friends. We talk quite frequently, and we're very much on the same page in terms of principles, strategy, and tactical application.
Yeah. I was just curious. I've followed his stuff for a while, and just I don't know. There have been times when I thought about giving the guy a call. I just haven't done it yet, so I don't know. But
he's a great guy. He will help you any way he possibly can. He's also a great salesman. I mean, he will sell you stuff, and that's what we're in business to do. Just as you sell your stuff. So just expect to be sold because it'll happen.
Get the pocketbook out, huh?
Yeah, but what he will sell you will be good.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, he's just a good guy. Good guy. Okay. Anything else? No. All right.
Just trying to get caught up.
Yeah, I hear you.
Well, I do have one other question. Do you think the CIA is watching this teleconference right now, or?
I
They
think
need a few more spy referrals, so no doubt about it.
Yeah.
They are tuned in. Just because the word spy and CIA was mentioned, they've got you live right now. Just don't say the word bomb.
No.
Interesting tidbit. My dad is a CIA spy, or was, and he was the real deal, a real spy. And I grew up in the Middle East, and he was a Middle Eastern specialist. He retired from the agency back in 2001 as a pretty senior guy there. So he was a real spy. So you asked the question, I was just going to say, well, I'll give him a call and ask him for views.
Nice.
Yeah. Wayne, you asked when the new people are going to be joining in. So they're going to start. And actually, that's a great question. I'm glad you asked it. What's going to happen is I've segmented the membership sites. So the new people are in one section, you guys are in another. However, all the new people are coming into the Facebook group. Now, what's going to happen is the new people will start their training next week. And as we build out that training in the new section, it's going to be tighter and more manageable. And we're going to take out the things that are not unnecessary, but maybe weren't as, we're just going to tighten things down and optimize the way we deliver the content. And then we're going to move all you guys into that section. So you'll still have access to the old stuff, so the old section. So you can, if you're more comfortable with that or whatever, you'll be able to get into either one. But what we want to do ultimately is move everybody into one section I don't know. I'm sort of just this is the plan. It hasn't been put into place. I imagine we'll leave the old section available to you as long as you want it. But going forward, everybody that's new will come into the new section because it'll be cleaner and tighter and a better appearance, more optimized and stuff. And then, so they'll be coming on calls and things like this. We'll be doing all the calls together. So there will be people asking questions about some of the first modules when you guys are asking questions about, some of the later modules or different things. So there'll be different levels, but it's all good because it'll be a refresher. It'll be good to hear and reinforce the things. I believe we'll see if there is a problem, then we'll make an adjustment. But I think it will all work very synergistically. Does that make sense?
Yeah. But we won't have access to this new section right now.
Well, I think, I don't see why not. As soon as we get, there's nothing different about it right now. It's just the intro part, but we're gonna build that one out at the same way we built out this one, but we're just gonna build it out better. So I can move everybody into it whenever I want, and so I can do that right away. If you prefer, if you like that, then we can do that right away. So you just pick and choose whichever you want.
It just goes back to what we were talking about in the very beginning about me watching the launch, and it's just, to me, it's more of a, hey, I just like to watch it get done, and so seeing that it's going to get built out maybe in a little bit different way, there might be something in there that I look at and go, you know what, the first time through that didn't really resonate with me, but the way they've got it set up now, man, I'm ready to do that part part of it or whatever. So, I mean, who knows?
Yeah. All right. And that's a great argument for it. I like that. And I just appreciate your enthusiasm, both you guys, and really a lot of the folks in it. Very enthusiastic, very positive. That's one of the neat things is how well we've attracted a certain type of person into this program. I'm just so pleased with that. It's a different level. I mean, if you guys have participated in other programs, maybe you know what I'm talking about. I've coached a lot of different programs, and we've sold different programs different ways. And the way you sell it has a lot to do with the type of people you attract. And we have attracted very high quality people. So it's awesome.
Niche marketing's working for you, I guess.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. All right, Aaron, anything you want to add?
Not really. I mean, no.
All right, cool. Wayne, I just unmuted you again. Anything else?
I don't have anything else.
All right, you're good.
Going back, and I'm anxious to catch up on some things that I wasn't able to during the initial 8 weeks, but everything's good.
All right, good. You got great lighting in your office, man. I must say, do you have an overhead light, or do you have a light in front of you?
Overhead light.
Yeah, it's good. My lighting is so wacky in here. I don't know. Keith, yours is always the same. Aaron's is always good.
Yeah. There's a light right above my head right here. So.
All right. I got to work on that. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much. It's awesome to see you all again, and we'll just talk soon. Have a great day. Have a great weekend.
Yeah, you guys. See ya.